Okay, this is my completed journal for the Dollar Tree Junk Journal Challenge. The challenge was to use $15 at the Dollar Tree and to make a journal from only the $15 that you spent there. You could have the addition of like scissors and glue, I believe, were the only like basic supplies you could use. And this is my result of what I got at the Dollar Tree. I'll make a quick list of the supplies that I used underneath the video, and of course I'll mention them throughout as I go. So this is this piece of fabric back here is a pillowcase that I found, and I cut it apart and kind of frayed some of the edges. And then I found a container of buttons, so I used those, and some gold stickers. And I can't really see, yeah, it's not glaring too bad on yours. They also had this, it was called mummy wrap, because I went around Halloween time. It's been how long since I've been taking this video. And I also got a roll of Kraft wrapping paper, and that's what I made my cover of. And the tag here is just from some of the packaging, so I cut it out and used the packaging. I backed my craft paper. I think there's a layer of notebook paper in there, and then I put this is tissue paper that I covered it with. I made a tissue paper ruffle here on the side and used one of those gold stickers. What I did was I also got a set of watercolors and this Looseleaf notebook paper, and I watercolored some of my papers with patterns and such. This one I made a pocket from the pillowcase. Another tag this one was a set of cards, so this is the back of the card, and I just put notebook paper and tissue paper and one of those gold stickers on it. Here I made a tuck spot from the front of one of the cards. I just cut part of it out, made a little folded piece of paper from some notebook paper. So a good place to journal. And that tucks up in here. This one I made a polka dot pattern with the watercolors and added a ruffle from tissue paper. Here I also got one of those 3 sets of twines, and I made a little border from it and put a little bow on this corner. Here's some more of that watercolor tissue paper with the gold stickers, and I got a package that had, I think, 5 or 6 different colors of sequins. So I put a couple of sequins on there. Some more watercolor paper. I added a tab. I just hand cut it from one of the cards and then added a gold sticker on it and a little ruffle underneath it. I put some sequins on the back to hide that edge of the tag. I also got a set of these gold arrow paper clips. So I clipped this to it. This was the gold sticker packaging, and I glued some flowers that I cut out of a tissue paper onto it. I don't think I did anything on the back of that one. I added in a fabric page, so this will be fun to like pin things to, like a little bulletin board. This one I made straps. I made stripes on the notebook paper, and it was really fun trying to make my own scrapbook paper. I cut a heart out of tissue, and then I put a little twine bow and a gold sticker, and this is an envelope, and it has a card inside. Put that back in there. I'll flip the page, and this side I just glued down, but I did a little doodling on it. Another one of those Kraft pages from the wrapping paper. One of the tricks I found, because it tries to like roll up on itself, is to spray it on the back side with a little water and then kind of let it sit flat, and it will flatten out a little bit. So this is the middle of my signature, and I just took notebook paper and put little hearts on the ends of them. I made a little corner tuck and used the seam from the pillowcase and added 3 buttons. And I put just put one of the cards and I put the gold stickers on there. I used another one of those gold paper clips with a little tag. This time I stapled on some twine because I didn't have a hole punch at the time. So I just stapled it onto the card. This one I took some of that twine and made little X's, glued those down. There's the other side of the fabric page. This one I took, so I cut out a bunch of different circle sizes of the tissue and made this little tissue flower and put a button in the middle. I sewed through it with some twine so that it would all be like stuck together, and then you could still have like a fluffy little flower. This side I got another one of those ruffles and I did some doodly border. Here's some more of that watercolor paper. I ended up like smushing the watercolor across my Kraft mat, and it came up with this cool pattern. So this one I just wrote a little quote on it. It says, "She is a beautiful soul who worries." She is a beautiful soul who carries light in her smile and love in her bones. I thought that was a really cool quote, and it added a little decorative element there. Another one of those paper ruffles, and this was a little flower that I cut out of wallpaper. No, not wallpaper, because Dollar Tree doesn't have wallpaper. It's gift wrapping paper, and it added a little button. This side, I tried to cut out a doily out of my notebook paper. I just folded it up like a snowflake, you know, like the paper snowflakes you did when you were little. So I just folded it up. I just did not glue it well. I'll show you the other side. The other side looks better. Because I learned from that one not to do that. So I did the same polka dots, but these polka dots didn't come out like very circly. So I doodled circles around these polka dots so that they would look a little more dotty. And another doodly border. And this is similar. I cut some hearts out of tissue paper and glued those down, and then drew a border around them. Here's another paper ruffle, and this time I put a sticker on it. Another flower cut out of the wrapping paper. More of that tissue ruffles. This was the first time I made those paper tissue ruffles, and I had so much fun with them that I stuck them on everything because, I mean, look how gorgeous that edge looks. I love it. More doodling around the borders. I really left this open for anything I wanted to do with it. And I made another one of those tissue flowers, and this time put a button in here, and this is a flip up, so I can put something behind here. I tend to like to decorate mine more as I'm working in it, so I like to leave it fairly undecorated, but like with a pretty background or something. So here's this, and this time when I was watercoloring, I put little crosses on this corner, so I thought that was really cute. Another one of those paper ruffles with a couple of buttons. This one got a little smushed. This one is actually, okay, so the other side of that fabric page, I took and cut a frame from and glued it to a card so that you could slip a picture in there. So you could put, oh here, let me just demonstrate. I have something close here. So like if I wanted to, I could slip this in here, and it's a little frame, and it's so cute. And then I just put buttons on the corners to reinforce it because the fabric was really floppy, so I wanted to make sure that it didn't like rip in the corners or anything. Okay, the back of this is a card, so I just unfolded the card and laid it flat. I had to trim a little bit off so it would fit, and then I covered the back side with tissue paper and a few sequins and one of those paper ruffles. So this is the side you can see the doily a little better. If you can see it, I basically just folded it in half, like 4 times, I think is what you fold it. And then you can cut out of the sides little shapes, and I made my own little doily. It was so fun. I'll probably like do it again because I like that, like, what do you want to call it, like handmade style of doily. So here's another one I did stripes on with the watercolor. This one had a lot of water on it and it ended up blurring the lines out really well. So I thought that was really cool looking because it just looks very fuzzy. This one I added twine and I added a little heart shape. And again, here's the middle of the second signature, and it's got these little notebook paper hearts on the end of the strings. This one is a pocket, and I put an envelope in it that has some buttons on the flap. And I put the fabric over the sticky part of the envelope so it didn't try to like stick to anything. And so it just slides back into this pocket. There's a little bit of the pillowcase and some notebook paper. More stripy paper. This one is a paper page. It's a craft page that I just covered with tissue, so I have a little pattern paper in there. Here's I just folded some of the extra tissue over and put this gold sticker here. Here's another fabric page. And more of those crosses in the corner. This one I just kind of covered, like dry brushed with orange watercolor and the flower cut out. And here at the top, I took a needle and kind of like hand sewed this, so it's on the back also. It's not super straight, but that's okay. It just adds some charm. And I added a gold sticker on this side. I added border around here with my twine. A little bit of leaf cut from wrapping paper and a button. And one of those paper ruffles and so a couple buttons at the end, and that's it. That is a pretty cute little journal. I'm super excited to use it because I really loved how it turned out, and it was a lot of fun, like being creative and trying to come up with things to do in it. So thanks for watching, and I'll see y'all next time.